Second.
A motion and a second. Ms. Robinson, can you give us a roll call vote, please?
Ms. May?
Yes.
Ms. Corey?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Holland?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. At this point, we'll entertain a motion for student discipline.
Madam Vice Chair, the recommendation, ask that the board will receive the recommendations of case number 2420-1243 and case number 2420-1343.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Mrs. Robinson?
Elder Park?
Yes.
Mrs. Holland?
Yes.
Mrs. Corey?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. And now to go to the agenda. We need a motion to approve the agenda, which does include the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Robinson?
Ms. Corey?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Holland?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. This is so easy. Now, public comments.
Mr. Rice and Ms. Button?
Good evening, Board. Dr. Geddes, Chris Rice, Director of Early Learning. I just want to take this opportunity this evening to talk about an event that's coming here in the next few weeks. Our Birth to 3 department and preschool department have joined forces to create the Early Learning Resource Fair, which will take place at Danville High School in the Field House on April 9th from 1 until 6 p.m. Families that are attending, children will have the opportunity to partake in dental screenings, hearing and vision tests, receive child care referrals. We'll partner with the Southern Illinois Health Foundation to get students' physicals and immunizations to get them ready for next school year. We'll have several agencies present to provide supports to families attending, from WIC, some homeless information, Crosspoint, our Birth to 5 program, Fair Hope, iGrow, Healthy Beginnings, and Brightpoint. Our own HR department will be here to offer employment opportunities to anyone interested in support staff positions. We will have activities for kids such as inflatables, music, sensory activities. Families will be able to sign up for pre-K screenings. And all families in attendance will be able to have a dinner to go, participate in our Viking Perks coffee store, and walk out with children's books and door prizes. This all coincides with the Week of the Young Child, and we have more information posted on our district website and our social media sites. So it would be great if you can take a few minutes to attend. Thank you.
Thank you.
What date is that again?
That is on April 9th at the Field House, 1 to 6. That's also parent-teacher conferences. We're kind of trying to tie it all together that night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good evening, Dr. Geddes and the board. I wanted to brag on our students a little bit and also say thank you to several people at DAC and also some of the teams that have come in for the national tournament. We've gotten some incredible compliments about our students and staff. We've had several of them go out to the tournament and have visited our schools. And I think one of the things that we need to remember about our community is, I'll never forget that Dick Shockey told a story about how, and Coach Spezia talked about how several of the teams have Destination Danville, or there was a team, like they look forward to coming to Danville. And they rave about Danville and the community and how well we take care of them. And this year, I was able to speak to the coaches and ask if any of them were interested in coming to bring their teams and work with our students. And several of them took us up on that. And I had had that experience as a teacher 25 years ago. And it really was a great experience for my students when I was at Southview. So several of them have taken us up on that, and we have had all of our schools had the opportunity and took us up on it to go out to DAC this week. And Jason Calloway at the bus garage has very graciously put up with us. He is taking 18 buses out on Friday to the 11 o'clock game. Tanner and Delorier has been having the Mead Park kids have been going back and forth every day. It's been incredible. The coaches and the national tournament president have complimented the behavior of our students and staff, and cannot say enough good things about our students. And they just have said the energy level at the games that our students are attending has been incredible. So I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware how well we have represented our community. And I got to see today, it was an incredible moment. South Suburban is a team that regularly comes to the tournament from Chicago. And I was able, the coach there is just an incredible human being. And I asked him specifically if he would go over to KDBA. And he did. He took his team over there today. And I got to see them interact with the students. And it was pretty incredible. And Ms. Campbell was very pleased, and as were the students. It just was a really neat experience. Coach Basie's has been taking pictures for us, so we'll be able to see some of those. So I wanted you to know that. I would like to specifically thank South Suburban and Pima. Pima's gone over to Mead Park. One of the basketball players at Pima made sure that he went to every single student that was kind of off to the side and not really engaging, and got them to join in with the activities today. Dawn Nasser, Nicole Zoyer, Melinda McBride, Jason Calloway, Brian Hensgen, and Tim Bunton have been integral in making sure all of this has happened. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood what a great week it's been for our kids at all of the buildings. And that if you want to see some great stuff, come on out to DAC on Friday at 11, because we'll have a lot of kids out there. So thank you for everybody that's allowed that to happen.
Thanks, Ms. Benton. Anyone else? Okay, moving on to item number 6, business and finance.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Gaddis, D118 family. I am Nurse Mrs. Rankin, Director of Business and Finance. And so this evening, I just wanted to come to before you guys. The FY23 audit has been completed by Sickich LLP. And so Miss Lindsay Fish from Sickich is here to do a brief presentation of the final audit and the district financials. So Miss Lindsay.
Thank you. So as a part of the audit, we've issued several different reports. I believe you should have electronic copies. I'll try to reference some page numbers throughout as I go through the presentation, but my comments tonight will focus on the annual financial report. It might be named maybe the audit report in your packet, and then I'll also cover the single audit report. So let's start on the annual financial report. If you want to get that open in front of you, it's going to be page number 1. It's about 3 pages in, is the independent auditor's report. So this is on Sickich letterhead. This includes your audit opinion. So on the second paragraph down includes your opinion. So in our opinion, the financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the governmental activities, the major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of Danville Community Consolidated School District as of June 30th, 2023. What that means is that we have issued a clean, unmodified opinion on the district's financial statements. This is the highest level of assurance that we can provide, so congratulations to the district on the receipt of that unmodified opinion. A few things I like to highlight when I cover the independent audit report, flipping to page number 2, is the responsibilities of management for the financial statements. So just a reminder here that management is ultimately responsible for the fair presentation and preparation of these financial statements in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Next section header is auditors' responsibilities. So our responsibilities as auditors is to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements are free from material misstatement and to issue an auditor's report that includes our opinion. Going forward, a couple more pages to page number 5 is the independent auditor's report on internal control over financial reporting and on compliance and other matters, based upon an audit of financial statements performed in accordance with government auditing standards. So this additional opinion is required due to the levels of state and federal funding that the district spends throughout the year. So if you look, second sentence down from the bottom there on page number 5 just notes that we did not note any deficiencies in internal control that we consider to be material weaknesses. And then on page number 6, we have a paragraph called Report on Compliance. Just like to highlight there that the results of our test disclose no instances of non-compliance that are required to be reported under governmental auditing standards. So again, another clean opinion presented for you there. From there, I'm just going to go over a few financial highlights. If you'd like to go to page number 7, this is your statement of net position. So this includes all of the activities of the district in one single column. Probably a little different than the financial reports that you're used to seeing because this is on economic resources, measurement, focus basis of accounting. Essentially what that means is this pulls in any long-term assets of the district as well as any long-term liabilities, such as like pension liabilities or long-term debt. So essentially a 10,000-foot view of your district's financials there. So on page number 8, we'll show your net position. So the district had total net position of $37 million. Of that, you had $42 million was invested in capital assets. You had net position that was restricted for various reasons, such as IMRF, debt service. Those restrictions are due to tax levies that collect those funds, so they're required to be spent on those purposes. And then you had an unrestricted deficit of $11 million. Pretty common to see an unrestricted deficit on your statement of net position with the other school districts I work with as well. And the reason being for that is due to all of those pension liabilities being pulled into that statement of net position. Page 9 is called the Statement of Activities. Similar high-level overview of the district's financials. Just wanted to highlight that the district did have a positive change in net position of $18 million from last year. So your net position went from $19 million last year to $37 million this year. Next page, page 10, is your balance sheet for your governmental funds. So you have one column for your general fund and then one column for your other funds, which is just classified as your non-major governmental funds. This one is on the current financial resources, measurement, focus, basis of accounting. So this takes out any long-term debt and any long-term assets. And this is probably more similar to kind of the financials that you're used to seeing here. So your general fund had a total fund balance of $33 million. And your non-major governmental funds had a fund balance of $5 million for a total ending fund balance of about $39 million. One item I like to highlight on your general fund there is looking at your total fund balance of your general fund and comparing that to your annual operating expenses. So your general fund had $33 million of fund balance, and this year the expenditures were $109 million. So essentially you've got about 4 months of reserves sitting there in your fund balance. So a good place to be. That's pretty common of what you'll see with school districts, how much reserves that you have on hand. So a good place to be there. Page number 12 is your statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. So again, just wanted to highlight your net change in fund balance. Your general fund had an increase in $2 million of fund balance. Your non-major governmental funds had a drawdown of $1.3 million for an overall increase in fund balance of $789,000. And then the next page, I just wanted to highlight, I don't usually go over this, but you're probably wondering, well, you just told me we had an $18 million increase, and now you're saying I had a $700 million increase. So again, it's because of those two different focuses of accounting, one being the long-term focus and one being the current focus. So page number 13 just kind of reconciles how we get from that $789,000 increase in your funds to your $18 million increase on your statement of activities, essentially due mostly to capital-related items. So when you purchase any capital-related items, those are expensed in your fund financial statements, but you capitalize those on your statement of net positions. Just kind of wanted to highlight why there was a difference there between those two items. That concludes my comments on the annual financial report, and then I just wanted to cover a couple of items on the single audit report as well. Give me a minute. So the single audit report, I'm looking at page number 12. This is the summary of your results for your single audit.
Takes a minute to shut one down and open the other one.
Yep, no problem.
Okay.
So just wanted to highlight kind of your results here for your single audit. So again, district is required to have a single audit because you spent greater than $750,000 in federal awards. So you'll have a single audit every year. We issued an unmodified opinion over your financial statements. And then there's also a few different buckets here of different results that we report here. So for internal control over financial reporting, there was no material weaknesses and no significant deficiencies and no non-compliance noted. And then as far as federal awards, there was also no material weaknesses, significant deficiencies, or audit findings that were reported. So a very clean report card for you there. Just wanted to highlight, you did spend $25.5 million of federal funds this year. Of that, we tested $18.5 million, so about 73% coverage of your federal funds were tested as a part of our single audit, and had no findings there. That concludes my comments, but just, thank you to Ms. Narcissus and her team for all of their help during the audit. It's, because of their hard work that you're seeing these clean results here and going through not only a system conversion and new auditors and clean audit results. I mean, I just, kudos at her and her team. They're very easy and helpful to work with, so appreciate you. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Well, I don't have a question, but I want to say thank you, because most people don't understand that we didn't have an auditor who would take us. Auditors are dropping out of the education game left and right. That's how we ended up losing ours. And we have so much money that we receive in federal funds. It's a lot to audit. So, thank you. You didn't have to do it. I appreciate that you did take us. I don't know what we're going to do for an audit, and there's some districts that are still struggling.
Your team was really great to work with, so mutually beneficial.
So just glad you're going to stay with us.
Isn't it because of our federal grant money, our federal grant status, that it was hard to find an auditor? The auditors don't like to do
It
that.
compounded the problem because we do receive so much money but as you see, Kelly and her team, they run a tight ship, and so with 73% of all of those millions audited, and for her to have all of her ducks in a row, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Great job, Kelly. Great job, Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So moving on to 6B, I will entertain a motion for recommendation to accept these audit results.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion, questions for Ms. Rankin?
Thank you for your good job.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a good experience. It was.
Okay, roll call vote then.
Elder Parks,
Yes.
Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Mrs. Holler,
Yes.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Corley,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader.
Yes, motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Can I just add, I will understand that next year you will probably give me an audit finding that I did not do my audit in time because I couldn't find an auditor, and then you'll be the auditor that gives me the finding, not finding the auditor. The irony of it all.
All right, item number 7, approval of Board of Education travel expenses. Request of approval of Board of Education member Alice Payne and Kimberly Corley's travel expense to the National School Board Association 2024 Annual Conference and Exposition held in New Orleans, Louisiana, April 6th through 8th. Recommendation.
Second.
Anything you'd like to add on this, Dr. Geddes?
Have fun.
Okay, roll call vote.
Mrs. Holler,
Yes.
Elder Parks,
Yes.
Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Corley,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. I cannot wait to find out from you everything that you learn and have you come back and share it with us. Now, item number 8, approval of Board of Education travel expenses. Request of the approval of Board of Education member Shannon Schrader's travel expense to the AVID Summer Institute Strategic Leadership for College and Career Readiness held in Dallas, Texas, June 17th through 19th.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Mrs. Corley,
Yes.
Mrs. Holler,
Yes.
Elder Parks,
Yes.
Ms. Schrader.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Moving on to number 9, board policies, policy updates and recommendations.
And for this, we have a familiar face.
Oh.
Dr.
Welcome back.
Jacoby.
Good evening, Dr. Geddes and the Board of Education. I'm Dr. Beth Jacoby, retired, but come back to help out the district in any way I see I can help out. And one of those projects we've been working on all year, if you remember, is getting all of our board policies up to speed, and I am happy to report that this last batch that is in front of you for a second read and a final recommendation, you will be up to date on everything until Press passes another policy update, and then we'll be right back where we were. But it's okay. In front of you are 25 policies that were left from the press release of 110 and 111, and 17 policies from 112 and 113. Just wanted to note to the board, and in the rationale, if you read my chart, which I love my charts and I'm very specific about it, many of the policy language is unchanged. They went through 5-year press reviews and or footnotes might have been changed just to give us information and about court cases that were passed. But for the most part, the policies that are recommended to be approved are mostly unchanged. So it is recommended that the board approve these. This is a second read. You remember back in February, you received all these. Good reading. And so at this time, I'm asking you to approve.
Okay, do we have a motion?
And if you have any questions, I am happy to answer them.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, roll call vote. Mrs. Robinson?
Ms. Stein?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Holler?
Yes.
Mrs. Striker?
Yes. Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Dr. Jacoby.
Always a pleasure.
Item 10, curriculum.
Good evening again. I have 2 informational items for you tonight. The first one is just to let you know that DAC is making a change. When in our dual enrollment classes, the students typically use something called Blackboard for their learning management system, and they're going to change to Canvas, and we're very hopeful that this will help with some of the technology issues that the students are having. But that presents, with some good things, that always presents a little bit of a challenge for us because the kids are familiar with Blackboard. So we're going to need to do some support with them to help them learn how to use Canvas. And DAC does a great job with helping with that too. And in addition, what we've recognized is that Google Classroom, we use that when we have e-learning days, and then it's great for setting up our classrooms. Just for everyday learning, but it's not really robust. And as I think everyone is aware, some of the classes that we've utilized for, not so much for credit recovery, but for the classes that we've used for some of our virtual learning for advanced classes haven't gone as well as we would have liked them to have gone. And we're wondering if our teachers, we know that our teachers, if given the opportunity and a more robust platform, something like Canvas, if we could create a better situation for our students. And we also have learned that OdysseyWare is changing. It will still exist, but in a different way. So with all of these things combined, it has become glaringly obvious that we really need to look at probably something for our own district, similar to Canvas, and we just are going to start investigating those things and just letting you all know that I probably will be back very soon, making a recommendation that we need to look at something like Canvas, and that we'll be exploring. And we can also use those types of things for some professional development. And we would be able to create all kinds of different things if we were to look at something like this. So we just need to start investigating it, and we want you to know that we're on track to do that. So,
Thank you.
okay, the second thing that I wanted to tell you about is summer school. Okay, Molly's here too, and she looks very comfortable back there. She wants, okay. So we're going to talk to you about summer school and the extended school year, and this also is KDBA and the high school. So we've got everything on this lovely memo. This again is just informational. We are going to start Summer school for our K through 8 folks from June 5th through July 3rd. We won't have school on June 19th or July 4th. So essentially, we're going to end summer school on July 3rd this year. We won't have summer school on the Fridays. High school and KDBA will. The high school will go past. They're going to have a different schedule. Their KDBA is going to start from June 3rd and go till June 28th. They're going to go Monday through Friday. Danville High School is going to go from June 10th to July 1st for coursework, June 10th to July 23rd for credit recovery. They're also going to be Monday through Friday. They'll be at Danville High School. KDBA, because of the construction, will be at Edison. Breakfast and lunch will be served. We're going to have driver's education. There will be in class and behind the wheel, and information will be given about all those things for the students. And I think I explained everything, and then Molly can tell you about extended school year.
Sure. Extended school year services for those who qualify through the IEP process will be located at Mark Denman in Danville High School, and it will follow the same schedule as the elementary and middle school. And we'll also have meals, with the exception that pre-K will be a little bit shorter, 8:30 to 11:30, because those babies aren't quite used to that long period of time. And we found out a few years ago that they weren't ready for that. So we will keep them closer to their regular schedule.
And we have one exciting change that we're going to partner with this year for our K through 4 students. They are going to get to spend one day out at Friendly Town for the grade. So we're very excited about that. So we were excited for Officer Yates to extend that opportunity to us. So we're going to pilot that this year and see how that goes. So if you have any questions, let us know. And we'll be getting information out at parent-teacher conferences to parents.
Terrific, thank you. Okay, moving on to item 11, and you're right there,
I'm here.
Ms. Bailey.
Good evening, Board and Dr. Geddes. I'm Molly Bailey, the Director of Special Education. And the first thing I have for you tonight is an exciting opportunity, I believe. You know, we wear a lot of hats in special education, and we're always looking for more professional development and making sure that we provide enough support for our students and staff as well. So I have reached out to the University of Illinois for a free option for professional development. We always like free, and assisting with our paraprofessionals. That's always a group that's kind of hard for us to find just the right person for. And this opportunity is a former paraprofessional who is now a professor at the University of Illinois, and she would come in and work with classroom teams of the teacher and paraprofessional and provide professional development and mentoring throughout the whole school year. So it's not just kind of that one and done kind of thing. She would work with them and then make sure that what they're implementing is implemented with fidelity and the things that they're needing. She's really concentrating on providing what they're asking for, not just a canned approach. You know, what do they need to make their classroom successful? So I'm asking to enter into an MOU for us to provide professional development in partnership with Dr. Carrie Zarat from the University of Illinois.
All right, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Questions for Ms. Bailey? This is free?
This is free.
We like free.
We sure do.
Okay, roll call vote, Ms. Robinson.
Elder Park,
Yes.
Mrs. Holler,
Yes.
Mrs. Gordon,
Yes.
Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Thank you. I gotta get back up to. Okay, item 12A. Clinical professional job description.
Me again. As the needs of students continues to grow in our district, we are continuing to provide mental health services.
Mrs. Nixon and I spend a great deal of time working with third-party agencies, scheduling, making sure background checks, doing all the things. Our social workers are working very, very hard, and they're finding that they're spending much of their time with general education students. The hard part about that is they're legally obligated to provide that time to IEP students, and so they're really finding it hard to do both aspects of their job. And so I'm recommending that we add a new job description, which would be master's level social workers. So the same level of social workers that our social workers are, but you can take a route of school social worker or like an LCPC or LCSW that is still a master's level. They just don't have the school certificate. So I'm recommending that we hire master's level social workers to work with our general education population so that the school social workers can devote more of their time to the IEP students. They would balance, those job duties within a school. There's a lot of benefits that to hiring our own people, because then they would do the professional development with us. They would follow our mandates, our procedures, all of the things that we do, rather than us relying on those services from third parties. The position would be on the salary schedule dependent upon education and years of experience. I recommend your approval of clinical job description, or professional job description.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Any questions for Ms. Bailey?
yes. Who will these staff members answer to? Who will be their supervisors?
Same as social workers, building principals, and myself, and Mrs. Nixon.
They be evaluated?
Mhm.
They will.
I would consider them the same as part of our psych social worker team, just as they are now. It's just that they could not do the IEP process part and evaluation. That otherwise, they would do the same duties as our social workers do now.
Okay.
How many would that be?
Well, I'll take as many social workers as you give me, and I'm pretty sure there's only a couple principals, but they'll take as many as I'll give them. So, I don't foresee that they'll be knocking down our doors, but I would think that it would benefit Danville High School, Northridge, Southview, Mark Denman. Those big buildings could absolutely benefit from another social worker, or 2 or 3. I don't see that happening, but at least those 4 big buildings.
Okay.
So as far as the workforce, do you see that there are people there that we can hire? Are there people out there with this?
Maybe, depending on our pay, what that looks like. There are certainly professionals in Danville. There are perks to working in a school district. A lot of social workers, counselors work in the evenings. That it would look a little bit different. They work all year round, so someone may want to have our schedule, or even do both. As long as they don't see district students, they could still have a practice outside of the district.
Interesting. Anything else? Roll call vote, Ms. Robinson?
Mrs. Corbin?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Holler?
Yes.
Ms. Payne? Yes. Mrs. Schrader?
Yes. Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more.
Moving on to another Molly Bailey.
Another Molly Bailey.
Special Education Alternative Coordinator.
Special
job
education is
description.
working hard in preparation for next school year. So we've been doing a great job to expand alternative programming in District 118 for students who are maybe our buildings are too big or struggling with the management of their behaviors in buildings. So what the special education department needs is someone to provide those services to students that may qualify for IEPs, and also some management of those things. It takes a lot for those kiddos to make sure whether it's service, are they getting on the online platforms, do they have enough support, getting work from their teachers to their tutors, all of those type of things takes a lot of work. And so I'm recommending special education alternative coordinator who could help manage and provide service both to students.
So move.
Motion and a second. Questions for Ms. Bailey?
What would the salary be for that position?
I'm assuming it would also be just like other coordinators in the job. It would be based upon
And
the coordinator
the
jobs.
educational requirements for that position?
They would have to have their LBS 1 endorsement because it's essentially like a teacher like our other coordinators. It's a benefit if they do have the admin, but it's not required. It would have to be a special education teacher because they will be providing services.
And would one be over multiple buildings?
So my vision is KDBA would be where their home base would be once there's a room at KDBA. And and then they would service the students out of there. If there are other alternative programming, like right now, for example, students at Laura Lee, we don't have enough staffing like at Danville High School to be able to come down and provide any service to them. So if there is a student, then they have to have homebound after school as well. And that's hard for kids to go to school during the day and then turn around and do homebound in the evening as well. And that's the only option we have at this point. So this person could possibly be mobile to service some of those kids, or we could try to transport some of them like a partial day to KDBA. In the meantime, I'm sure that we can find a spot at the Jackson building until that room is secured. Or a hallway space.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call vote then.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Holland?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, Ms. Bailey.
Thank you so much.
Moving on to 12B, dismissal for extra duty position employee for reasons other than reduction in force. I'll read this and then have a motion and a second. Motion to approve the resolution of dismissal of extra duty position employee Randu Cravens for reasons other than reduction in force.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Robinson, roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Holland?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Item 12C, dismissal of educational support personnel for personnel employee for reasons other than reduction in force. Recommendation, there are 4 of these. We'll do them one at a time. Motion to approve the resolution for dismissal of educational support personnel employee Christy Small for reasons other than reduction in force.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Mrs. Holland?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Motion to approve the resolution of dismissal of educational support personnel employees Darlene Harrison.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Holland?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. We have a motion to approve the resolution for dismissal of educational support personnel employee Sabrina Armstrong for reasons other than reduction in force.
So move. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Mrs. Holland?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. And finally, a motion to approve the resolution for dismissal of educational support personnel employee Alexis Lester Hoskins for reasons other than reduction in force.
So moved.
We have a
Se-
second.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Holland?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Moving on to item 13, operations. 13A, concealed weapons detection system at Danville High School, Northridge Middle School, and Southview Upper Elementary School. Recommendation to accept the bid.
Yep, good evening, Board, Dr. Gaddis, Seth Oldfield, Director of Operations. And yes, I'm proposing one system at each of those 3 buildings at a total cost for a 4-year lease, excuse me, of $306,846.60.
So move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Questions from Mr. Oldfield?
Can you explain how that differs from what we currently use?
Sure. We currently use the open gate system at Northridge, and we were going to install it at Southview. But we recognized that there was a bottleneck because the detectors don't flow as easily as the newer detectors do. So then students are left out in inclement weather, and we'd like to get them into the building as quickly as possible. So this new system will allow that to happen.
And you've seen the new system. Have you gone someplace to look at it?
We already have one of the systems at Danville High School at the
Okay.
clock tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when our eyes were really opened.
Okay.
I think Mr. Bretz can speak to that.
Okay.
But we're not abandoning the old systems. We'll use them at outdoor events. We use one here at the Fields building. We'll use them at visitor entrances where there's not as many people going through.
Thank you.
So 4-year lease for $306,846.60.
Yes. Beck Tech was the lowest bidder on this, and they're in Urbana, Illinois.
Okay. Any other questions?
Is that the total for the 4 years, or it's not yearly?
That's not yearly, no.
Thank you.
Total.
Okay, roll call vote then, Ms. Robinson.
Elder Park,
Yes.
Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Mrs. Howard,
Yes.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Corley,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. 13B, FirstNet Rapid Response Radio Service.
Yes, so you might already be aware that we have two-way radios in all the buildings. But the buildings can't talk to each other. We can't communicate from our office with those buildings in the event of an emergency. And Dr. Geddes took a few of us to reunification training in Peoria, and we really, I would say we just realized the benefits to having a district-wide system to communicate with the staff and what's going on in the buildings, especially in an emergency. So this would be a cellular-based or Wi-Fi based. It depends on whether you have a cellular signal or not in the building. If you didn't have a cellular signal, it would flip over to Wi-Fi. But then we would create talk groups for each building. And then at a district level, we can tap into each of those groups. We can tag the groups so they can talk to each other. It's a pretty unique system.
Total cost?
Total cost, so it's $6,997 per month for 280 radios, and annually that would be $83,964.
Okay, so let's set a motion so we can have more discussion.
Who would have the radios in the building?
Do we
We
need
have
a,
to,
do we have a motion?
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, now we'll have some discussion and questions.
Who would have access to these radios in the building? Principals,
The principals, assistant principals, hall monitors have them, TAs, SROs. I have a radio. We keep a radio in our office. We would put radios here.
do we have either Wi-Fi or cell service to support that increase?
So one of the nice things about the systems that runs on FirstNet, and that's a communication path that's restricted to government agencies, and so you don't have, like community calls affecting that cellular signal. I would say that most of our buildings have decent cellular coverage. Northridge, Southview, and Mark Denman, there might be a little bit of a problem. It's been explained to me that we can put boosters in those to boost the cellular, but I think that my preference would be to fall back on the Wi-Fi and rely on it more since we're going to be inside the building.
My experience trying to use cellular in the buildings is difficult at best.
I understand that, I think it's Verizon and T-Mobile do not work well in their buildings. AT&T is pretty good. Like, I can talk in the basement of the high school.
That won't affect this proposal for the two-way radios.
Sorry, FirstNet runs on AT&T's network, so it's just
Okay.
a private band for
Okay.
government in that. So we have good coverage. We did a cellular survey last year, and they noted some points where we needed to amplify the signal. But
So for example, Mark Demon has that metal roof, and I know we have very poor cell service there.
depends on the carrier, but yes.
Okay. This would be okay.
Yep. So let me back up a little bit. So we're not going to go out and buy all these radios up front. We're going to get 5, 10 units in, and we're going to go through the buildings and test and make sure that this is a good fit for us. There's no commitment. If we agree to this and it doesn't work out, then we can pull back. But I was given a number of references for other school districts in Illinois who are using them. And I reached out to them and had a pretty good conversation about it.
So the dollar amount, I'm sorry, Ms.
It's
Corley.
okay. I was just gonna say, I can see the benefit of this.
The dollar amount is kind of an up to.
Up to, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice. I'll use Dr. Gez as an example. I know she'd want to get on a two-way radio, but she doesn't have to carry a radio because the service ties in with our FirstNet cell service through the district. So her phone would become a two-way radio if she wanted it. So if she's somewhere and there's something going on in the district, we can reach out.
That's good. Okay, so that we know what we're voting on, this is the FirstNet service and the SIATA, did I say that
Yep.
right? SIATA
Yeah.
cellular Wi-Fi radio for a one-time fee of $277.20 plus a up to monthly fee of $6,997.
That's correct.
Okay.
And you'll come back to us after your test of the 10, 15 that you get.
Yeah, I want to tell everyone about it.
Anything else before we have a roll call vote? All right, Ms. Robinson.
Elder Park,
Yes.
Ms. Knight,
Yes.
Mrs. Holland,
Yes.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Corley,
Yes.
Mr. Striker.
Yes, motion carries 6-0. And item 13C, engagement with One Digital for group insurance consulting services. This is you too, isn't it, Mr. Oldfield?
It is. So we would like to engage with One Digital to provide group insurance consulting to help us navigate some of the challenges that we have with, it's just cost at this point. And we want to offer the very best group insurance to everyone in the district at the lowest possible cost. But historically, our numbers have increased 15, 20%, and our benefits are decreasing. So we want some professional help in navigating that and maybe identifying some cost savings.
Okay, the total cost for this?
They listed it as monthly for a one-year agreement, so it is $2,300 per month, and the one-year agreement would be a grand total of $27,600.
Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Other questions for Mr. Oldfield?
I do. Do we not currently have a company helping us now do this?
We have a broker, an
Okay.
insurance broker, but
We have concerns, I'm assuming.
no, our
No
broker's
concerns?
fantastic.
Okay.
Great guy, but I struggle with it because I see it as a conflict of interest where you have someone pushing a plan and saying, here are your options, and then they make a commission off of those plans.
So is One Digital a consultant or a broker or?
One Digital offers consulting, financial advice, and they are an insurance broker as well. We are only interested in their consulting services.
Okay.
So it's an extra set of eyes on the
Yeah.
process of selecting the
Yeah.
most appropriate insurance.
The idea is that we can come up with some strategies, as I said, for lowering costs, form a plan before our next renewal, and then go back to our broker and say, we need you to execute this for us.
So we're not replacing the broker, we're just taking on a consultant.
That's correct.
About how much do we spend on our insurance program?
We're pretty close to 8 million.
And so we have a broker that we pay to provide a product to us, correct?
The broker makes a commission off of our premium, yes.
And so is it that same broker that kind of has taught us what we've depended on that person?
Yes,
And so what I hear you saying is that you're looking for someone to kind of make sure the advice that we're getting is correct and to make sure we're educated.
absolutely.
And the cost for that is annualized, $27,600.
To help us manage, what, 8 million?
Any other questions? Roll call vote, Ms. Robinson?
Mrs. Holler,
Yes.
Elder Park,
Yes.
Mrs. Corbin,
No,
Ms. Payne,
No.
Mrs. Schrager, I'm sorry, hold on, Pastor Miller,
Yes.
and Mrs. Schrager.
Yes. Motion carries 4-2. Moving on.
Thank you.
Mr. Oldfield. Educational support, Ms. Truax.
Good evening, Dr. Geddes and Board of Education. I'm Kelly Truex, Director of Educational Support Programs, and I'm here tonight to let you know informational only of the summer programming opportunities that are free to our students this summer. I have put them all on one memo, similar to what Mrs. Button did with summer school. So we start with DHS grades 9 through 12. Lakeview College of Nursing, this is new. They're having a career camp. It's one day, Friday, June 21st. Please contact the Ed Support Office or high school guidance counselors for more information. Patty Juarez is heading that up, and she has talked with the counselors and then also is going to classrooms and putting flyers up and trying to advertise that. She called today and we weren't able to contact someone to find out if anyone has signed up yet. But I have a feeling we will, and it's for anyone that's interested in nursing. Our second opportunity is what we do every year, and these are all grant funded, by the way. We're back to Title I. This is our partnership with the U of I. This is the first booklet, the engineering booklet. This was mailed out last month. All incoming sophomores, juniors, and seniors. These get mailed, and then I'm considered the second parent on that, and then we take care of all the fees if they need transportation. And we have this year, we have had, let me see. So far, 5 people have, or last year, I'm sorry, 5 people applied last year. 1 was accepted. The STEM camp is very hard to get into. I will tell you, that you have to write an essay, you have to have a teacher recommendation, and it is difficult. We have 6 applicants this year. We just turned those applicants in, and we are getting teacher recommendations right now for those. Next, we'll have book 2, Fine Arts. That's coming soon. That one is very popular. It's drama and arts camps, and then we're working with Mr. Klett, and we've started doing music camps as well. Last year, we had 9 applications, and everybody went. So there is no, you have to be accepted, and that book will go out in April, and, we will get those registrations taken care of, and they're week-long residential camps. So the kids that have done it in the past love it. They come back and they just say how much fun they have. Brian Klett is recruiting for the fine arts, and then I have Patty Juarez and Brandy Kacheski recruiting for the STEM engineering camp. We will again be taking any high school seniors that would like to go to EIU for their program, and that is the Eastern Illinois University Minority Teacher Identification Enrichment Program. That's a mouthful. Applications are due to my office by April 30th, and then we send those in May 8th. It is new this year that they have to have an essay, a 500, I believe it's a 500-word essay, and they will spend 3 weeks at Eastern. We've done this for 3 years now, I believe, and we've had a very good experience with this, and the kids get 3 credit hours going towards teaching. Patty Warhas has sent Mr. Covey and the guidance counselors all the information on the EIU program. We also provide transportation and everything they need. That's a lot for high school, but for our elementary kids, we have Camp Invention. That's the week of June 17th. It will be at Liberty School this year. Applications are going to buildings April 8th. We are allowed 110 kids for that, and we always have 110 kids. That is very, very well attended. The kids have a blast at that program, and they will be, starting next week, after spring break, getting applications for that. We provide College for Kids scholarships. Last year we had 15 kids go K through 12, and this year the new list comes out April 1st. Brandy Kucheski manages that program. So we have lots of opportunities for kids in the summer. They are all free, and we pay for them, and we will transport and provide everything you need. So those things are being advertised on social media. We do mailers. We go to buildings and meet with the principals, and then also go into classrooms. So do you have any questions?
When you said I'm considered the second parent on that, what does that mean?
That just means I have my name down as well as the parent. So that way, since we pay for the program, if anything, like an emergency card.
Mhm.
So I get all the emails, so I know that everybody has taken care of everything they need. As far as, for example, this week I'm getting the teacher recommendations. And they'll tell me, it'll say we've received your application. Now we're waiting on the teacher recommendation, so that I can keep track of where each child is in the process of being accepted, and making sure that they have everything they need. I will get the email they have with, this is what you need to bring. So my team makes sure that we work with parents and with the students so that they have everything they need to have a good experience.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone knows that some of these programs have been around for a while. I went to ISYM
Yes.
as the U of I music program as a youngster, as a middle school and high school, and then College for Kids. My kids have been involved with.
Yeah, my kids went to College for
Yeah,
Kids too and
and
loved it. I wish we had more kids take advantage of it, but I do know that kids are very busy in the
Mhm.
summer, especially high school students,
Yes.
with sports and jobs and everything. But we have a pretty good turnout with elementary.
Honestly, the fact, because these programs aren't free.
No, they are not.
They're just free for our kids because
Right.
the district pays. And back when I went to the music program at U of I, my parents had to pay. We haven't always provided the funds
Right.
for our students to go to these things, and I think that's a huge credit to you and to Dr. Geddes and the
It was
administration.
Dr. Geddes' idea.
That we're providing these
Yeah.
opportunities.
And we use Title
for
IV
everyone.
money for that. We use Title IV because it's fine arts and something different. We're not allowed to use Title I. I put it in ESSER for a while, but we're back to Title now. So, that will be there. I don't plan to ever take that out of Title because the kids come back and love it. And I think some of the kids have actually come here and presented after
Mhm.
they went and just said what a great experience they had.
Yeah, it was great a long time ago.
Yeah, it is. It's a really neat experience. And I myself and Skip actually transported some kids over to the U of I, and it was just really neat to see how excited they were, but nervous, and I was nervous dropping them off. But when we picked them up, they were just so excited and had a great time.
Well, you've gone the extra mile, and we really appreciate
Yeah,
you.
well, thank you. It's a great program, so I hope people take advantage of it.
Any other questions for Ms. Truax?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, early childhood. Elevate National Early Childhood Conference, Phoenix, Arizona.
Good evening again. I have an out-of-state travel request to present to you this evening. I'd like to request that the pre-K staff and administration be allowed to travel out of state to attend the Elevate National Early Childhood Conference in Phoenix, Arizona, between the dates of July 10th through the 13th. I'd like to provide this opportunity to 2 pre-K staff and the building principal at Southwest Elementary School. at the estimated cost of $1,365 per attendee. And all fees and costs associated with this would be paid through the Preschool for All grant.
Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. So questions for Mr. Rice?
Have we ever done this?
This will be the first time attending.
Seems really like a great opportunity.
Yeah, it gives them a little bit of everything. They have professional development on all the content areas, a lot of PD sessions, talks about school culture and climate, classroom management, so a little bit of everything. It'll be good for a few of our staff to go to, and then they can bring that back to the rest of the pre-K department.
Well, our pre-K program is one of the best kept secrets in
I
the
say it all the
district.
time, birth to five, it's booming.
It's amazing. So yeah, thank you for the good work you're doing. Let's see, any other questions for Mr. Rice? Just checking. All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Elder Park?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Holler?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Thanks,
thank you.
Mr. Rice. Technology. 2024 summer refresh.
Yes, it is. That time of year again. Good evening, Board. Dr. Gaddis. Annette Hummel, Director of Technology. So this is our annual summer refresh that we do every year. We are on a rotation cycle for all of our devices. This year, we're replacing 35 desktops, 110 laptops, and 1,329 Chromebooks. This isn't all. I mean, obviously, this is only part of our Chromebooks that we use in our district because our enrollment is starting to slowly increase. We did accept the quote from IT Savvy. They usually get us the lowest quote, and they've done it again this year. And with our increase and our ESSER money, we were buying some extra devices with ESSER money, and that's gone. And so our kind of budget has gone up a little bit, back to where we were pre-ESSER. Is at total cost is $800,245.14. $750,813.64 is covered through Title I, thanks to Kelly and her money. And then the $49,431.50 will be budgeted out of district. So this is over 5-year lease cycle. We used to do our desktops at 5 years, Chromebooks and laptops at 4. So we're extending the laptops and Chromebooks for 5 years now. So everything will be on a 5-year cycle. So this cost will be over the 5-year lease cycle.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. So questions for Ms. Hummel?
How do our Chromebooks hold up with student use? I'm just curious.
Well, the warranty's good. We had roughly 2,000 tickets with our warranty service for our Chromebooks this year, and so that's a lot. So
And do you get good service?
We do. We get
Okay.
usually a week to 2 week turnaround. Sometimes it's just simple replacing keys. Maybe the inside's not working. Sometimes it's replacing the whole LCD screen because it's smashed, ripped apart. So they can be okay and they can be pretty bad. But we do get a quick turnaround, and that's our goal, because obviously we want to turn around and get a device back in the hands of the students. So
I'm just curious, if a student cracks a screen, we're able to fix that? Or do we get?
that's what we send it in for warranty, and they replace those. Yes,
Yeah, I found that out.
that's the whole purpose of it. Yes.
Thank you.
So the $49,431.50 of the local funds that aren't,
That's what I budget for, yes. out of
but
my-
not title, because
Not
those are
title.
not student related.
Right, so the
devices.
49,000 is what, I will have to pay for out of district budget because it's non-instructional. Anything instructional, we can pay for with title.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions? Roll call vote, Ms. Robinson?
Elder Park,
Yes.
Ms. Stein,
Yes.
Mrs. Holland,
Yes.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Gordon,
Yes.
Mrs. Schroeder.
Yes, motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. The numbers, item 17, amended balanced calendar recommendation.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Geddes. I'm John Hurt, Assistant Superintendent, and I am here tonight for a approval to keep Northeast Elementary Magnet School on a traditional calendar one more year while we complete the construction of that school. I ask for your approval.
Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Questions or comments?
Yes, I did. So we already approved it to go back to balanced calendar. So all the parents and staff and families have already made potential vacation plans and arrangements because we already approved a balanced calendar. So I just want to make note that that could affect things come fall for these families and our attendance, staff, and families. How are we going to handle that?
Well, there's, if a student is absent, honestly, they're just absent. They'll be allowed to make up the work. I'm hoping that they choose school. Not all families will. And, as far as staff, we will do our best to fill those, not vacancies, those openings with substitute teachers. That's all we can do.
Of all topics that we've covered this year, this is the one that, as a board member, I've received the most community concerns about, and parent concerns and staff concerns. I understand the reason that we have to do this. We have to have safety of our staff and kids at the forefront, and so I understand that. However, I would like an assurance from administration and this board that this is a one-year amended calendar, and the assurance would be that we go back to a balanced calendar.
Short of a natural disaster, I do not. I foresee being back on a balanced calendar. There's no reason to think that we wouldn't unless something would happen with construction. There has been no conversation of anything but returning to a balanced calendar.
So you're giving me and you're giving the community an assurance that next school year, after 2024, 25, that we go back to a balanced calendar.
To the best of my ability.
I think that's the main fear in the community, is that the district wants to take Northeast to traditional, so I think that's what they needed to
Never
hear.
been a conversation. Not the intent
Right.
at all.
I think they just need to hear that. And then I also want
I can appreciate that.
if we could, just communication. I think we've already talked about that once before, just us communicating to the parents.
Sure.
Just be proactive. If we know it's coming, we'll listen. It's just when we don't know it's coming. If we could just be more proactive with our communication.
I can appreciate that.
As I understand it, some of the question has been that the students and staff have been kind of coexisting with some construction already, but that next year we're going to be needing to work on, or over the summer, we're going to need to be working on parts of the building where the education is presently happening. Is that correct? Am I?
Where it's presently happening, yes.
Yes. So they can't be in the same place at the same time for this piece of the project?
That's correct.
And was this something that was unforeseen?
Very unforeseen, yes. We had all intentions of being back to balanced calendar this school year.
I appreciate the reassurances to the Northeast families, especially that there's no that no one's trying to sneakily get everything changed back to a regular standard year, that we really are, the intention is to keep them on the balanced calendar.
That really is the intent.
Okay. All right. We have a motion and a second.
Yes.
Roll call vote.
Ms. Holler,
Yes.
Elder Park,
Yes.
Ms. Bank,
Yes.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Gordon,
No.
Mrs. Schrader.
Yes. Motion carries 5-1.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. The item number 18, 2024-2025 registration fees recommendation. Is that you, Mr. Hart?
Yes. Good evening. I'm back. So I'm recommending that we waive our curricular registration fees for the 24-25 school year.
Do we have a motion? Okay. Second? Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? or
From what
discussion?
to what?
From 0 to 0. So we haven't had curricular registration fees. Obviously, we have extracurricular, we have driver's ed. So those fees stay in place. So this is your registering for school, your supplies, materials, what have you. And we've waived those for probably the last, I'm going to say, 4 to 5 years. Dr. Geddes is thinking 5 to 6. So when we can, we like to be able to help our families out. And, you know, there are times when we haven't had that option. So it is an option that we have for next year. So
What are the fees normally if they were in place?
well, they're a little bit different depending on where you are. So I believe it's anywhere from $25 to $40, and then there are lab fees for a few classes. So
So crazy question.
yes.
Since we're tax funded, is there a curricular fee in the first place?
I wish I had an answer for that. I think it's probably just traditional. Honestly, it's a practice that is carried over and over, and many schools in the state of Illinois still assess a fee. And like I said, I'm happy that, you know, as a district, we can afford to waive those. So.
But given its minimum effect on our fund balance, it was not something that we thought was necessary to burden our parents with. So certainly we could do some other things and cover those costs for our parents, and that's what we've done for the last 6 years.
That's great. Any other questions? Okay, roll call vote.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Bank,
Yes.
Mrs. Gordon,
Yes.
Mrs. Holler,
Yes.
Elder Park,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader.
Yes, motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Hart. Informational items.
Here, I'm gonna do a combination.
Well, this is number 19, announcement of the kindergarten. Have that?
Oh, we still there? Okay, come on. Kindergarten.
Announcement of 2024 kindergarten
Registration dates?
registration date.
Y'all done kindergarten?
Kindergarten registration.
You were Mr. Rice?
It's the registration date for kindergarten and centralized registration dates.
I'll be happy to do that.
I can
Okay.
do you
So,
centralized.
no,
That's
it's
what
fine.
Med,
Okay.
Med,
Huh?
I can do you centralized for you. I have that.
Okay. So kindergarten is first, right? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, April 24th, that is it's a half-day dismissal. We're gonna do kindergarten registration that day. We're very excited to do it early because early in the kindergarten teachers are going to be available that day for registration. And so they're gonna be able, with the principals, and we will have everybody else doing professional development. So their professional development is going to be getting to know the incoming kindergartners, talking to the families. So it'll be a nice, smooth transition. Ms. Robinson will also be there for part of the time, and then I'll stop by. Mr. Hart will stop by. Well, it's going to be a busy day because we'll also be doing PD. We'll all be at the high school, Mr. Brett's. So, and we'll have more information about this. We have T-shirts that were created by our CTE department a flyer that was created by also by our students at the high school. Very excited about all of this. Mrs. Truex has allowed us to pay for some books that the kids will also get while they're there, and the t-shirts. The curriculum office thought it was a great idea to get the t-shirts really, really big, so the kids can take pictures in them all the way through high school. So they can keep taking those year-to-year pictures as they grow. So they're adult sizes, so we can help start taking some of those pictures as we go. And the kindergarten teachers will be there too, to kind of talk to the kids and really let them know about kindergarten. And it'll be from 12 to 5, I think is what we said. So we're really excited about the prospects of this. And there will probably be some great information about our kindergarten blast off that we will also have to get the kids ready prior to the beginning of the school year as well at that time.
And this will be at the high school?
Yes, this will also be at the high school. Yes. The field house. Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
It's late.
That sounds fun.
It's
Sounds
late.
like a neat thing.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Button. 19B.
So to go with Ms. Button's announcement, we will also do a centralized registration. We'll hold that on Wednesday, July 31st at Danville High School in the field house from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Additional information will be communicated when the returning student portal and new student portal will open. It is our hope to have all of the same people participate, the doctors. We have Southern Illinois Healthcare Foundations. We can take care of shots. We can get all that done so that parents can go on and enjoy the rest of their summer. Okay?
All right, thank you. Superintendent board comments.
Roll Tide. So we want to say congratulations to the freshman sophomore track team for winning the Big 12 indoor conference meet. They did a phenomenal job. Friday, DHS, the CTE program, will hold their first career fair. There will be 25 to 30 trades, businesses, and organizations and trade schools there. The event will be held from 9 to 2 p.m. in the field house. This is our attempt to bridge the gap between the needs of our community and for our students where college is not the option. We want them to know that there are so many jobs and so many opportunities available here in Vermilion County, and we want them to take advantage of those programs. The Northeast Color Burst is Saturday, April 13th. Come out and enjoy the run. The run begins at 10 a.m. Good luck to our elementary, middle, and high school archers who compete this week in the Illinois State Archery Tournament. Spring break, thank you, Jesus, begins next week. Administration, staff, students, please relax and recharge. The last elementary Scholastic Bowl is tomorrow at Mark Denman Elementary. And it's Mark Denman, Liberty, and Southwest will participate. Last weekend, DHS held the drama tournament. I heard some phenomenal things about, I apologize, I had COVID was sick. The parents and students who were visiting Danville High School, I actually received a few emails from outside schools about the school and how it looked and how great it was. They were in awe of Danville High School, the staff and the students. Two DHS students, Banji Carter, am I saying it right? I hope. And Phil Pacheco were named all sectional casts. Great job to them. And so then to piggyback, when Mary Ellen Button was talking about pre-K, I want you to know that the Illinois State Board of Education has released the request for proposals to award $75 million in Smart Start Illinois funding to expand Kelly is looking like, here we go. To expand access to preschool. The grant is the next step in Pritzker's 4-year Smart Start Illinois plan to fully eliminate preschool deserts. And I can tell you that here in Danville, in Vermilion County, we have a waiting list of 300 children who are not being served because we did not have the space to accommodate them. So that is 300 children who are not getting what they need to come to school prepared so that they start behind the 8 ball when we get them. We need to address that gap. Currently, we have preschool for all, which is half day, 2.5 hours for 3 to 5-year-olds with licensed teachers. We have preschool for all expansion grant. That is our full day, 5 hours of school to deal with the comprehensive physical, mental, and educational needs for 3 to 5-year-olds in the highest need communities, which we are one. And then we have our preschool initiative, which provides our home-based visiting program. We have our P&I, and so that team needs to grow. The program needs to grow if we are going to address that 300 student gap that we have currently here in Vermilion County. And so we will be aggressively going after this funding. They have indicated that priority is going to be given to applicants who propose to offer services in an early childhood desert. Certainly, if we have 300 students sitting at home, we are a desert. And they have a map there, but I think we're well suited to get the money. I think we've positioned ourselves with the State Board of Education nicely. We've sung the song and preached our need. And so I think they do understand, and I think we will receive a nice portion of that to address those students, and now I just need to find a space.
Thank you. Why don't we have board comments starting now with Mrs. Corley?
2 days, staff, just hang on, 2 more days. I know some of them are hanging on. I wish them a happy spring break and just a well-deserved rest.
I can only say that I have been amazed at the work that the staff has been performing just this year alone. You all, in my personal opinion, have done an outstanding job when you come and share with the board some of the things that is exciting to you. And so to me, that's been one of the greatest blessings in sitting here and hearing what you all are doing. So I just simply say, keep up the good work, because we need it here in Danville. So God bless you. Oh, there is one other thing. The coffee trailer. Who was heading that up?
Molly?
Sister Molly. Is that up and running?
We're working on it. We're going to the DMV tomorrow to get license plate.
Well, I'm gonna call you because I would like for you to be sitting out in front of Allen Chapel, which is right across the corner here, for at least a day. I have some people coming in for my district conference, and I mentioned that to you earlier. So I'm gonna. I hope you're preparing to be there. All right. So God bless you.
Real quick, Shannon.
Yeah.
Molly, do you think that'll be up and running in October?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
We're hoping for
Before the school year.
before the school year's out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I like coffee.
Then we
Summer?
can move on to the bakery.
I echo the wish for a really good spring break, a well-deserved spring break for everybody. Y'all have worked really hard and make us very proud. I did attend the theater production. I've never seen anything like it, never heard anything like it. Schools, there were literally schools from all over. There was a school that flew in from Arizona. In fact, they were awaiting results rather anxiously because they were afraid they were going to miss their flight if they couldn't get going. So it put Danville on the map, and they really were impressed with our school. And Mr. Bretz, they were very impressed with our students who were helping, thought that they were just first-class kids, and that is always nice. So let's try to get that theater thing back again next year. It was really great, and it made us look really good.
I'm glad to hear that our students have been so respectful as they have went out to DAC, and that we're getting a lot of positive feedback, that their attendance is really being noticed, and that it's a great opportunity for them as well as for Danville. Again, for all of our staff, thank you. Try to get some rest. I know how it is when you get a little vacation time. You said, now I can get caught up on other things, but don't overdo the other things so you don't come back after spring break exhausted. So again, thank you for what all you do to make our district great. I want to thank God and thank Dr. Giddis all the board, even just for that small bit of support for our parents, and the fees that are going to, again, not be required, because, again, every little bit helps. And so I know they appreciate that, and I'm glad we can do that also as a district.
I want to give a shout out to the Danville Public Library and the District 118 schools. They have sent out over 10,000 library cards for every student in District 118. And we are already seeing an increase in the students attending the public library. So a shout out to them. Also, as a retired teacher, I know you're looking forward to spring break. It just cannot come soon enough. Enjoy. Thank you for the newsletters. And also, I attended the official opening of the Wellness Center at the high school. If you have not been there, please do so. Not only is the center great, but the artwork that the art club did is just outstanding. I've never really seen anything like it. So kudos to them. Thank you.
I just wanted to say to Mr. Rice, thank you for taking our staff to this conference and encouraging them to go. You've done a lot with the early childhood department, and you can just really tell it's a very special group. So thank you for that, Ms. Rankin. You make us proud. Your team make us proud. That audit, a brand new everything, and just to hear the kudos for our district and your professionalism, and Miss Truax, that for both of you, the level of detail and the fact that every duck was in a row. We just appreciate you, and you make us really proud. We were like bursting our buttons up here, and you did all the heavy lifting. So thanks to you and your teams. I also had an opportunity to go to the Southern Illinois Healthcare Foundation. I didn't go to their open house, but I had a chance to pop in there. That place is really nice, and I love hearing how they are being involved with us and they're partnering with us to be able to get our kids the physicals that they need. They told me that they are having lots of kids go down to have sports physicals, and so it's really, I encourage our staff to use it. I guess there's an ear thing going around, all kind of people getting their ears taken care of, but we are very fortunate to have that here in our district. And I know, Dr. Geddes, you were really instrumental in helping get that here. And so it's just another tool in our toolbox that makes us really special. Have a great spring break, everybody, and we're adjourned.
Be safe, guys.